Hey family, it's Tasha MAMABEAR Prepping. Welcome to the channel. Welcome back to the channel where we just talk about emergency preparedness, different things that could happen to you and your family, and how to prepare for it. So today we are talking about, this is going to be just kind of a discussion, just me kind of just discussing out loud, getting a little irritated. We're living in a world where things are not going in the right direction, right? There's a high increase in violence and crime. There's a high increase in homelessness and unemployment, and this just attitude of like the days of working hard are kind of withering away and gone. There's a lot of I was going to use certain words, but I'll refrain. But things have not been going in the right direction with our politics, with policies, with war and conflicts, future conflicts. I mean, we're just, our economic, we're in a, recession, working our way into a depression 100%. If we are not there already. We are, inflation like crazy. It's just very, very hard. I had some subscribers the other day talking about they have $1,000 electric bill. If they're lucky, they get an $800 one. Like I personally cannot fathom that, right? I have not dealt with that yet. I never want to deal with that. I can tell you that I won't deal with it, and that there will be drastic things that we will take and do in order to not just comply and just pay an $800 bill, right? $1,000 bill. I mean, I just cannot imagine that much of our income going towards the lights, right? Especially when it's a thing. It's something that is I don't want to say it's not a requirement, but it's something that we absolutely could learn to live without, right? It's just that's not the way, that's not the direction we're trying to go. Obviously, the world has advanced extremely in regards to, IA and technology and just everything that has to do with tech and making stuff better, right? If you will. Now, the damage is done though. I hear all the time, people are like, oh, America can never fall. America can never fall. But we're, in my opinion, in a lot of ways, the weakest that we've ever been. And it's kind of a strong statement because a lot of people are like, how can you possibly say that with the advancements in technology and all of those things that we have to speak for today? And of course, in many ways, we are very, very strong, very strong. But we do a lot of the damage. We do a lot of this negativity to ourselves, and we're setting ourselves up to fall, right? And great kingdoms, great cultures, they fall, right? And it's just a matter of time. Now, another thing too is a lot of people, why do you prepare? And, I've been listening to you for a couple of years and you're always saying the same thing. The sky's fallen, but the sky hasn't fallen. And it's like, I tell people it's like insurance for your house, right? Especially, let's talk about fire insurance for your house. You would never say, oh, I can't wait. Why has my house not burned down yet? I pay all this insurance a month for fire insurance and it never happens. Like, when is it just going to hurry up and just happen already? Like, nobody says that. Nobody wants that to happen. They pay their insurance. They pay so that they're ready. You're preparing so you're ready, right? Nobody wants their house to burn down, just like nobody wants the economy to crash. Nobody wants the dollar to go away. Nobody wants these bad things to happen, right? And us to go in the bad direction. Nobody wants famine and starvation to happen. Nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to live through natural disasters and storms and all of this. No, nobody wants to do that. But you prepare for in case those things happen as they happen. And in some cases, people know for a fact that they're going to happen because they happen in their everyday lives, whether it's a hurricane season, a tornado season, a fire season, earthquakes, whatever it is, that you've lived through it, right? And you have many events that have already happened or happen on a regular basis. And so you prepare for those things. And nobody's sitting there telling a hurricane person, well, why are you preparing, right? They're not, oh, I hope a hurricane comes. Okay, maybe some are, but you know what I mean, right? And so you prepare. And for people that are like, hey, 2 years has not gone by and I've done all the stockpiling and nothing has happened, or, you know, you're saying a pandemic's going to happen, but it hasn't happened. It's like, you should be blessed. I bet you all the people that have been preparing for 2 years feel blessed that they have those items, right? People who are just now waking up and just now starting to prepare, I bet you that they're hoping that they have at least 2 years to be able to prepare, right? For me, I hope things never get that bad, but I know that they are. They are going in the bad direction, in a negative direction. And so it's just a matter of time. You know, I hope stuff doesn't break down for another 10 years. I hope stuff doesn't break down for another 20 years, 30 years, or never, right? You know, can you imagine the damage you can do as far as preparing and getting ready if you had 5 more years, 10 more years, whatever, before things really, really go bad? We know famine's coming, starvation. We know our supply chain is not going to last. We know our infrastructure is not going to last. We know we are going to go through some sort of great devastation of a blackout, no power for a lot of people. And that's going to be devastating. We know that the threats are out there for nuclear. We know the threats are out there for EMP. And we walk around pretending like, well, it'll probably never happen, so I'm not going to prepare for it. And that's just not the way that somebody who wants to be ready even thinks, right? You think, what can I do to be as ready as possible? And to walk around and say, well, I'm totally ready. I doubt it, baby, that you are ready. There's always something to do. There's always a skill to be learned. There's always a, you know, a project to be done, something that can be bettered on your property. You know, you have chickens. Have you built you a worm farm yet? Have you built you a mealworm farm yet? Have you built a little garden that is just dedicated to chickens or other animals and to feeding other animals when something happens, right? When there's no more feed in the stores, there's no more, you can just go get you a bag of food for whatever animal it is, horses, cows, goats, ducks, whatever it is you have, right? Your animals, your pets, right? There's just always something to do, and there's always a way to make something better. And I hope that we have a long time. I hope we have years and years. But we talk about these things now, and sometimes, yes, it comes across as if, well, is this happening tomorrow, right? Is this happening this week? And that's kind of what everybody wants. People want that fear, that you know, that's what they're gravitating towards on these videos and on these other channels, is this fear that I've got the inside scoop and something's happening tomorrow. And that's not reality, right? It's education, but it's also entertainment on a lot of these channels. It's also money, right? People trying to make money. And so you've just got to do what's best for you and your family. You're making your list, you're compiling your emergency planning, you know, you're making your plans for different scenarios that could happen. And how do you prepare for this? I don't care, baby, if all you guys are kind of preparing for is just, hey, the loss of income, the loss of money, right? Somebody loses a job, and you're just preparing for how do you live life if you all of a sudden didn't have income. That is huge for anybody. Just sit down for a minute and say, what would I do if for whatever reason, however it happened, doesn't really matter. But you all of a sudden didn't have income, it doesn't matter. You lost the job, the banks collapsed, there's no payments, there's no money flow, whatever it is, there's a pandemic, whatever it is, but you just lose your income. You don't have it anymore. And so immediately, how do you make it, right? What have you stockpiled? What food do you have to fall back on? What water do you have to fall back on? Medicines to fall back on? Think about all the things that you bought this last week. Just think about it, write it down. All the things that you ended up going to a store and purchasing just this last week, and just think about it. Like, that's 1 week of your life of different things that came up that you had to get: food, water, maybe a certain kind of medicine, whatever it was, right? Maybe it was a service, a product, something happened. You had to, maybe it was maintenance. You had to get something fixed on your car, your house, or whatever, right? Maybe it was a bill, you know, it's debt, it's whatever is lingering that you had to deal with. Think about that. And then think about, you have no income coming in. How do you make it, right? How do you prepare for that? You still have to be able to provide a shelter, provide food, water, the basics to be able to take care of yourself, right? And so what do you do to prepare? Sorry about the trains, you guys. We live close to some trains, so the trains are going crazy. They've been going crazy a lot lately. So anyway, you know, what are you doing to prepare for something as simple as you just don't get your money anymore? This could be just the bank's collapse and you're not able to get your last check that's in your bank account, right? The bank's crashed, that bank, you have no access to it. This could be cyber attack on the banks, can't get your money, right? And this could be isolated. Maybe this is just you, maybe it's just this bank, maybe it's just a small group of people. Maybe something happens though that affects everybody. And now think about all those people that are out trying to resource and get the things, right? All of a sudden, panic, pandemonium, they're all trying to get the things because you're all going through something. And that's what you're doing. You're getting ahead of that. You're getting ready. You're preparing. And this stuff you're getting is not just you get it and you put it in a dark basement somewhere. This is regular rotation stuff. You're stockpiling extra food, stockpiling extra water, meds, all this stuff. That's regular rotation stuff, right? That is things that you guys use in your homes, and you're pulling stuff forward and you're stockpiling and keeping more stuff, but you're using the stuff, right? The damage has already been done. Baby, we are well on our way. And it's a matter of what can you still do? What can you still get done in the time frame before an event comes your way to your doorstep that you have to deal with? People all day on here could be like, well, you said the sky's falling. Tomorrow their house is on fire. They lose everything. That's an event, right? Now it's hard to prepare for that, right? You lose everything, but you can prepare for that. You can get insurance to try to replace your home, fix your home, replace items in your home, right? You can be preparing and not have everything in your home. You could do even more for fire. Okay, I'm going to do fire breaks. I'm going to make sure I'm doing my maintenance, have my electricians come in and take a look at stuff, at wiring. I'm not ignoring problems that could be coming up, trips, a short here, whatever, not ignoring that stuff, right? Do what you can do so that stuff doesn't happen. Fire alarms, water hoses, fire breaks outside your home, certain siding for your home, as far as the siding and the roof being, you know, tin and fire resistant or whatever, right? Think about what you can do to be ready, right? You know, you live in an apartment. Okay, there's not so much you could do, but you still can get fire insurance, right? You can still make sure that all your belongings are not in one area, in one spot, right? What do you do? What can you do, right? Because every situation is different. Some stuff will allow you a certain amount of space to do much more to prepare for that said thing than, say, a different item. Some stuff simply is out of our control and is going to happen and is going to cause pain. But what can you do? You know, your fire, okay, but you have a go bag in your car. You have a home kit in your car with a shelter stuff, food stuff, water stuff. You've got emergency stuff. You've got emergency documents, your backups. You were able to get your firebox out of the house, maybe, whatever it is, to be able to be ready. Maybe it's that. It's a safe with your weapons, with your documents in there. That's a fire resistance, you know, safe that you're able to go back to and get into and get your documents and get your weapons and get some stuff, right? What can you do to prepare? And those are simple things, right? But what is going on in your life? What are the things that you naturally have to deal with as a family in the location that you live? Plan for those things. Plan for the money situation. If you had no job, continue to push forward and pray that we have more time. Every day is a blessing. Every day is I get up and I'm like, okay, we're here. What can we do? We have more time to prepare. But we are going in the wrong direction. So it's just a matter of time. So get it out of your head like, well, when's it going to hurry up and happen already? Or people that are in the subscribers and just watch the videos. Just start watching the videos. Because you have folks that will just message me and be like, well, when's this happening? Well, what day is it happening? And to me, that's mind-boggling because I'm like, what day is it happening? Like, what are you even talking about right now? Was what happening? Because they're not understanding the big scope of stuff and that this is a lot of everything, right? And we're literally on the edge of the cliff and it is not going to take much. And one even mini major event that affects even a few states is going to be catastrophic, right? In the reality of what happens next. And that's not just to those people, but all the other people around them, okay? The rest of the United States. So, anyway, I hope you guys, enjoyed this video. I'd love to know your guys' comments on the topic, kind of, the damage is done. What are you doing to prepare? you know, we don't need to talk about timelines because it really doesn't matter at the end of the day. The end of the day is that we're creative thinkers. We're people who think a little bit outside the box. We see the red flags. We see things that are going on around us. And we're simply, as a family, preparing for that. That's it. That's that simple. It's not some kind of crazy cuckoo stuff. It's just you're simply preparing for the things that are bad that might come your way. And how will you deal with them? And what can you do now to make life better when those things happen, right? That's it, because it's gonna suck regardless. You think all these things are gonna make you just magically have a great time during an event? No, right? But they'll make it better. They could possibly make it better. They could possibly take your mind and now you can focus on the more serious things and not the little smaller things. It can help with your levels of anxiety, your levels of stress. You know, the notion that, oh, I'm going to be okay. We can provide food and water for our kids. That's a huge, huge stress reliever that you're not going to have to worry about. Is times tough? Is it rough right now? Absolutely. Trying to protect your home. There's no power. You have no money. Whatever, sweltering heat or super cold, right? You're trying to stay warm or you're trying to stay cool. All of that stuff happening all at once. But if you have this simple thing of food, water, meds that you've stockpiled, that alone is going to bring you a peace of mind that I cannot explain, okay? So when everybody else is panicked, running to the stores, and you've stockpiled some food, water, meds, the peace of mind that that's going to bring you is going to be amazing, okay? So anyway, you guys be well, take care, and I'll see you guys tomorrow in the next video.